Suppose that the cost in dollars for a long-distance telephone call is modeled by the equation C equals 0.07t plus 0.92, where t is the length of the phone call in minutes. Part A asks us to find the cost of a phone call that lasts 0 minutes. Well, if the call lasts 0 minutes, then we would let t equal 0. Then C would equal 0.07 times 0 plus 0.92. And so then that's 0 plus 0.92. And so then C would equal 0.92. And that's in dollars. So the cost would be, cost is $0.92. Part B asks us to find the cost of a phone call that lasts 20 minutes. So letting t equal 20, then that means that the cost would be 0.07 times 20 plus 0.92. So then the cost would be 1.40 plus 0.92. And so then the cost would be 2.32. And so then the cost is $2.32. Write a complete sentence interpreting the slope of the equation. Use appropriate units. So first, identifying the slope. The slope is given by the 0.07, right? It's the coefficient on the t term. And how we can interpret that is, well, we see that the cost is increasing. And the 0.07 tells us that it's increasing at a certain rate. And the units on that rate, the units on the slope in this case, are the units of output per units of input. So the cost, or the slope, is 0.07. If we want to think of that in terms of the units, we put the units of the output is dollars, and the units of the input is minutes. And so what that tells us then is the slope is in terms of dollars per minute. So a complete sentence interpreting the slope, here's how I would write it. The cost is increasing by $0.07 per minute. Write a complete sentence interpreting the c-intercept of the equation. And we've actually already calculated the c-intercept. Remember, to find the c-intercept, we would let the other variable, in this case t, equal 0. And we did that earlier in Part A. We found that when t is 0, the cost was $0.92. And so an interpretation, a basic interpretation would be maybe a call lasting 0 minutes costs $0.92. Now, a slightly different interpretation might mean that there's some sort of a connection charge. Right? So maybe a connection charge of $0.92. All right, and finally we were asked to graph the equation, and I'll just write the equation again for reference. The equation was C equals 0.07t plus 0.92. And we were asked to graph the equation, and we have a grid already prepared for us. And so what I would remember here is that to graph a line, we need two distinct points. Now, there's different ways that we can find those points. We can find the points just by substituting values. We can find the points using the slope and the intercept. But as long as we have 2 points, we can draw the equation. And so we already have the points 0, 0.92. When the time was 0, the cost was $0.92. And then we had the point 20, 2.32. So all I'm going to do is plot those points and try to draw the line between them. So 0.92, let's check my scale on the y-axis. My scale is by 0.5s. So 0.92 is going to be about here, I suppose. And then 20, 2.32, 20, there's 2, and there's 2.5, so 2.32 might be about here. And so then just trying to draw the line through those points, and maybe I have something like that. And so there's the line through those points.